Hi there, my name is Kay Moon, and I am a twin flame channel and Western astrologer, and this is a video about 2021 channeled messages for twin souls. These messages are provided by my guides for very many people. So, in your listening, it's going to be important to pay attention to the parts that validate your own intuition and experiences, rather than attempt to make every message fit for you. Remember that a large part of our journey as twin souls is a restoration of our divinity templates, and this includes our divine knowing. So, what isn't your message doesn't make it untrue for someone else. It makes it their message and not yours. Be sure to honor your intuition and discernment as you listen and put that discernment first. 2021 is going to be a year of significant change as both counterparts are sitting in signs of transformation or growth in one way or the other. This is part of a larger passageway that links 2021, 2022, and 2023 and the way that they build. There is a momentum that begins this year and peaks the closer we get to 2023 for ascension energy and for union energy. Union with the divine, union with self, union with mission, union with the world, and union with divine counterparts for those who choose that outcome. As previously reported, the union and communication window between counterparts is open and is at its peak in 2021, January through April. It peaks again in November and December of 2021. Please re-listen to the recording, How to Navigate the 2021 Union Window, for a better understanding of how to work with this energy. The pockets of less favorable energy for 2021 are June, July, August, and September. And during these times, you may find there is less connecting happening in your connection on the outside and more connecting going on within yourself. You may also find that there is less hope and faith in your connection and your presumed outcomes for it. And this is both a good thing and a challenging thing. It's really good because without the goggles of hope, you can actually see things really accurately. Without rose-tinted glasses on, you can see things for what they are. The idea is that somehow, if your person could just change, that you could just change them, or that somehow you can do enough work to make them somehow different in the 3D world, these kinds of illusions of hope will start to give way this year as love shows you the truth, that they are a sovereign being with free will. This is going to be a challenging thing because it will be tempting to swing into a different type of storytelling. The type of storytelling that includes catastrophizing about your connection, thinking painful, awful things to yourself to cause you enough pain to force some kind of letting go if you're in separation. The purpose of this passageway is to get centered in what it is, not what we want it to be, or what emotional brooding and storytelling from our pain would have us think, but instead to have us get centered in reality. This is going to be great for twins in union, great for twins not in union, great for twins coming into union, and great for twins who are moving into a period of time where their hearts are being withdrawn from their connection. As such, this year, 2021, will be a year of truth, clarity, and transparency in your connections. And there are 4 things that came through as channeled messages for you to know. The first thing is that for some of you, this means that you will get the clarity that you've been initiated into love by an ascension partner. Clarity about where things stand between you and a soulmate or you and your twin, and clarity about the best next step. You'll also start to understand more fully what happened, why it happened, and what it was all for. The second message is that many will receive clarity about the difference between loving and relating, loving and actually connecting. The distinction between feeling love and acting lovingly toward another is going to be made very plain. There will be revelation about each of your behaviors and choices leading up to this point, and that will make it much more clear how you've arrived in this place in your connection, no matter what this place happens to be. These truths won't always be easy to face, but they will be catalytic, and they will assist you in course correcting toward loving action and finding the teachers and guides you need to move into greater love in action in your connections. And this will be true for all twins in union and separation, with or without communication. This year will be a year of learning how to be loving, not just feeling love. And this will be especially true in the arena of communication. The third thing, in terms of clarity, that 2021 will bring is that clarity that your twin does not belong to you. They belong to the world. They belong to life. And just like you came here to serve the world and serve love in a much bigger way than enjoying the earth realms with a counterpart. It'll become apparent in what they're doing that they have things that they are here to learn and experience, and souls to assist that have nothing to do with you. It'll also become clear that they are a light worker in their own sovereignty and their own right. And with this recognition, there will also come both a peace and a sense of cheering them on, whether they are with you or not. Many in separation will learn not to take their absence personally, and many in union will learn to let go. If you aren't doing the same things at the same time, growing at the same pace, or focused in your work in the exact same ways, should you have a business or project together. For everyone, this energy is supporting us to move into acceptance of the greater mystery and divine plan at play between twin souls. The fourth message was that for most, this year is going to bring about a clarity regarding your light work for both counterparts in the connection. There will be a clarity about what's needed and what you are called to serve, where you are called to serve. The work you're stepping into and the people who need you most will pull you toward them at this time. Creatives will be called to create and pull your work out of the ether and place it into the world where it's most needed. Please, please, my guides prompted me to share with you, make sure you are being properly compensated for your services. As I was shown, there could be a propensity toward martyrdom this year that's unnecessary and can undermine being in the flow of how this realm works and in the flow of giving and receiving support and love. Receiving compensation for your work does not make it any less of the light. In fact, it makes it possible for you to conduct more light because you are better resourced. The fifth message for the year was that there was this message that came through about the power of energy healing this year. Undertaking energy healing for yourself or for your connection can have a profound impact on your ability to move into elevated connection and be at peace with whatever's happening in your connection. Because this year has so much change for divine counterparts as well, taking the time to do energy work, receive energy healings, and meditate will keep you grounded as the changes flow through. So now I'm going to break these 5 things down for 3 different groups because there were messages about these 5 that pertain to everyone for 3 different segments of twins. So I want you to feel free to listen for all messages that confirm your own spiritual guidance. I'll start for those in prolonged separation and or no communication because there were specific messages for you. Then there were specific messages for those who are in the twin flame purification process. Then I'll close with those who are in union or coming into union. If you're not familiar with the twin flame purification process, there is a video linked below that details the features of that experience and its divine purpose. Because 2021 is a year that will be full of surprises, especially in the first 6 months and then the last 2 to 3 months. You may find it helpful to listen to all messages at least one time and then come back and listen to what seems to be unfolding for you at a later date. Okay. Now I want to speak to those of you who have been in a protracted period of prolonged separation with no contact or communication with your twin for many years. And your twin has both told you and shown you multiple times and multiple ways that they have no intention on moving things forward with you in the material world. This year will be a very important and sacred passageway for you as several things may begin to unfold in 2021 and the following years if you're a part of this group. These things won't be the case for everyone, but there are some who will experience what I'm about to describe. Some of you have even come to me in my email to talk about this and say, hey, what's kind of going on here? I don't understand. And my guides gave me the information to prepare you so that you could better reconcile what's happening and not panic and stay in a loving space. So for some of you, this will bring about the completion of holding twin flame energy for the time being with the person you've been holding it with. And what they showed me was a picture of a DNA double helix splitting. And then at a later date, those singular strands, instead of a double strand, those singular strands then recombined with a different strand of DNA. Now, you may find if you've been following the path of the heart, as opposed to following a particular person, and that person has not shown up, and you have fully surrendered to the heart, that as we closed 2020 and moved into 2021, your heart is being moved in new directions. They suggested that this will feel as though the heart has released you from the connection rather than you trying to release the connection strategically with your mind to minimize or alleviate pain, i.e., trying to call in a soulmate rather than letting this play out how it's designed to, or trying to release them rather than allowing yourself to love yourself and the pain of the absence of love return. All of this trying is the path of our mind telling us what we should be doing with our lives and hearts. As you've probably discovered on this journey, we just can't control our hearts. It guides us. This clarity that you've been released from the connection rather than you trying to release the connection may be accompanied by some sadness or grief, as I mentioned. And as I mentioned in the addendum to the Capricorn new moon video, the first new moon of 2021, it may also be accompanied by a sense of failure, depending upon how you process changes in direction. It will also, thankfully, be marked by a significant sense of relief. Some of the hold the connection has had energetically will dissipate, and you'll find yourself freer mentally and emotionally than you've been in a long time. The absence of all the old longing, yearning, and consuming feelings may feel a bit confusing at first, but it will ultimately bring a sense of relief as a new storehouse of energy is released within to assist you with moving forward with your light work and mission. And this is by divine design. My guides were showing me that there has been so much pain, so much heartache, and so much clinging, longing, and yearning in the twin flame collective templates. And the light work coming through twins is so desperately needed at this time that some hearts in prolonged separation will be released from their connections at this time so they can step forward in light work and help the beings on earth ascend. They showed me that this would be for the highest good, not just you and your twin, but everyone connected to the two of you, and that it's important that you remember this. What is happening is definitely for the highest good. The next message around this was that this release will also provide an aligned frequency for a soulmate to join you in love, or someone else who holds twin frequency to spiritually pair with you at a later date. Now, I know this can be difficult to face and feel into, so allow yourself the space, time, and resources you need to grieve and let go rather than hold on. It will be critically important to notice the flow of your heart here. And now the 2020 message for the divine feminine energy makes even more sense about staying centered in your heart. It was preparation for what's to happen this year and the following years. Honor this flow of release if that's what your heart is doing in your connection, as there is significant opportunity for that reinitiation or reactivation with a new person holding twin energy or a soulmate in the second half of 2022 and the first part of 2023. It's important to do what you need to do to honor the release and let go with love, without bitterness, resentment, without guilt, without shame. As each of these diminish some of the higher vibrational frequency of love and undermine the signal sent out that will call the counterpart you'll move forward with into your life. In other words, holding on to bitterness, resentment, guilt, shame, grief, parking in your pain as opposed to feeling it and allowing it to move through creates a different frequency and likewise a different mental state, and most importantly, a different behavior set that can cause distortions when the new counterpart arrives and even before they come in. So grieve. If grief is in order for 2021, don't repress it, give into it, and know that if you're feeling it, it will not be forever if you're allowing yourself to feel it fully. It will pass through and take the expectations you held with it so that all that remains is pure love. Note that if this is your path, it will become clear in 2021, and this is not a failure in any way on you or your counterpart's behalf. If you find the twin energy is deactivated for now, it's simply a realignment of energies and frequencies to flow where it can be matched vibrationally, to serve the expansion of love by moving you toward one who can cultivate and grow love with you. This is part of a quickening, so to speak, to accelerate love frequencies held by more of the beings on earth. So honor your grief and move forward as an act of self-love. But know that where you are is not where you're going to remain. This moment is not the end of your journey, only a transition point. Feel your grief if there is any. Get whatever help you need to not park in your pain. Remember, the point and purpose has always been love and more love. Also note the distinctions here. You will not be releasing them, and they will not be releasing you. For those for whom this message is for, Your heart will release you as a result of you following the path of your heart and where love takes you, as opposed to following a person. You'll simply begin to feel differently from within. And that will be your signal that this message is for you. You won't need to ask if this is happening for you, because for those of you for whom this message is for, you will actually know. You will feel a bit like a numbness within your connection, not necessarily toward the person. You'll still feel like you love them. But the numbness, the turning down of the volume of the connection itself in your energy field and your emotional and mental space will be your signal that this is what's happening and that you're being divinely guided and freed up to focus on how to expand what love has taught you and share that with others. The last message that came through for this group had to do with faith and understanding what it is, how it works, and the process of developing it. This year, you'll better understand what faith is, what you actually have faith in, and what you don't. You'll be distinguishing fantasy from faith and understanding how even when you thought you were faithless and lost your faith in everything on your journey, love still remained. It is one thing that you can have faith in no matter what. Love's power to heal and transform, its power to bring together that which was previously divided, ultimately its power to make whole and restore integrity where disorder and chaos has caused disruption. You'll see that when it comes to faith, love is something you can continue to put your faith in. My guides had said, even if there is no union in sight today, have faith that this is not the end, that if you've been carrying the frequency and vibration of love, if you're at a moment in your journey, at a moment of separation in your journey, then your journey is not over. The love that you've carried and manifested through your energetic and your physical DNA will call forward love in return, because that's the nature of how the divine built this universe. And whether that union is coming for you in the form of someone whose face you recognize, or whether it's coming for you in the form of someone whose energy you recognize, even if the face is different, it is indeed coming for you. Because that's what love does. It joins together. It makes whole. It always has, and you can trust that. There is a build toward more easy union energy as we get closer to the middle of 2022 and the start of 2023. So maintain your faith in the power of love and allow the changes of 2021 to be what they are. Your journey is not by any means over. For this group, my guides continually stressed over and over and over again 2 points that they wanted to make sure I highlighted, put in bold print, italicized, underlined for you. The first one is this: a separation can be a very painful place to be. Whatever you do, do not park in your pain. Do not get so complacent in separation energy, so used to it, so apathetic about your connection because of your counterpart's prolonged absence, that you miss your union prompts, whether that is with someone new or with your divine counterpart. The likelihood that your counterpart could signal an openness for reconnection and you could miss it because of the filter of past pain is very high in 2021. They reminded me that the nature of this universe is flux. Whatever it was, look back, it's not what it is. And whatever it is right now, that's not what it's going to be. It will be necessary to grow your capacity to say, I don't know, and sit in uncertainty if things seem unclear, rather than using your pain to force an outcome, give up on love or give up on them. Be very wary of staying in such a permanent state of releasing the connection to the point where it crosses the line into running from the connection without you even realizing it. The second thing that they asked me to remind this group of, they said that it will always be easier for the mind to believe 100% that union energy will never come for you if there has been a long-term separation, or that it will 100% guaranteed happen if you just work hard enough. Then you'll be able to force another person to love you in the material world the way you want to be loved. Love doesn't work like that. It comes with permission and freedom and respect and honor for another person's free will. Once life is in motion, once we have incarnated into the body, what we do with it is up to us and up to them. So use your faith to claim your union and be open to who the union is with and how it looks, even if it's not with the person you thought it would be with. Marie from Spiritual Baddie taught me that. She's a phenomenal reader. I'll link her below this video. She's not for everyone, but she is wonderfully gifted as a reader and spiritual teacher. I don't read much with people these days, but I will tell you that when she said that on one of her live broadcasts, it never left me. She said, "Have you claimed your union yet?" And I didn't fully understand the power of what she was suggesting that people do until 2021, and how necessary it is during this cycle in particular to get as comfortable as you can with claiming union energy over your life, and then being as open as you can to where that love takes you in that energy. Okay, so that completes the message for those of you in long-term separation having the experience that I just described. Now I'm going to speak to those of you who are in the twin flame purification process about 2021. Now, as I mentioned, the full explanation and channeled message about this process is linked in a video below. The clarity of this year is going to call you into action of some sort, whether that's breaking silence with your twin, if you're the one who has maintained it and they left the door open, you just haven't reached out. Or it could be taking classes or moving into spiritual mentorship with someone who can assist you with understanding why you are where you are in love and connection. 2021 is going to be a year for this group where it's really critical to continue to follow the path that your heart takes you through. Because for some, the heart will not release you from your connection because there has been a repression of its love for quite some time. It also won't move you forward in your connection for the same reason. And until we give in to love, there's just more deconditioning to do. This purification process was designed to assist us with giving into love. An unwillingness to initiate contact when you've really wanted to be connected, to be present to the love that you feel, to express it, even if it isn't returned, to honor what love has compelled you to do or to say, even if it has been hard. Releasing all of this resistance is the point of the purification process, where there's been an unwillingness to face the connection and the love you feel because you've been committed to someone else, or if there has been an unwillingness to engage the love because of past pain, either with your twin or predating your twin. 2021 will be a continuation of the purification process. Again, this year will provide sharp clarity about where you're at and the work that needs attention in the arena of love and relating this year. As I mentioned earlier, it's part of a quickening in the collective. And this quickening is meant to assist all of us to move toward greater love, and it will assist you in better understanding love, During this time in 2021, there will be a lot of revelation and things will get revealed to you that you hadn't seen before, that were there all along. The purification process, as I mentioned, is meant to assist us with our deconditioning so that we can be a pure fractal of love. That's the word they wanted me to use, fractal. And its length is commensurate with our resistance to its lessons. It isn't brought on as a result of resisting love. It's not a punishment by any means, but resistance will prolong the process. I've seen people move through the process in a matter of years, and others who have been in it for more than a decade, unable to let go and unable to move forward in their lives constructively because they've been unwilling to surrender to their heart. The process is an initiation into love as a dominant frequency and can happen in the years following meeting your twin, as well as when one has met an ascension partner. In this process, all of the core wounding that we have around love can surface for release. And this year, 2021, will bring some of that core wounding to the surface so that it can be dealt with. One of the key points in clarity you'll find this year is the distinction in your thinking about your connection. You'll have the discernment or the distinction between what's happened in your life, quote, because of your twin, versus what's happened in your life as a result of the way you're processing the connection and its energy. The concept because of them is laced with blame, and understanding that what has happened is a result of the way you process the energy of the connection brings your power back to you. The second perspective widens the lens and the aperture. It includes you. It includes all of your own filters. It includes all of your own wounds and all of your own reactions to being activated by love. So if you're in it, hang in there. I know it's hard, but it's not forever. And get the support you need to work with the energy of this period in your journey. I highly, 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 highly recommend the work of Lee and Sherry Patterson of Relationship Reinvented if you're in this process, or that you work with whomever else you're drawn to. But the work of the process is about getting in touch with the wounding that caused our conditioning when it comes to love. It's about loving ourselves as we're experiencing our wounds and surrendering to the feeling of love on the inside with outside actions and behavioral changes. In this way, there's a cultivation of deep compassion, and a lot of the conditioning starts to dissolve on its own. Thus, our lives are transformed to be a more direct reflection of the love that has transformed us. And during 2021, those core wounds are going to come up for clarity, and it'll be a fantastic year for healing a lot of them, not just vibrationally and energetically, but learning new behavioral patterns over the course of the year through coursework, through mentorship, through coaching that can help you learn how to love in a different way. For many in the purification process, you will find that starting in 2021, your capacity to give the love that has been so focused on your twin connection will expand to include the world at large where it's most needed. And this will assist you in transmuting a lot of the pain that can surface during this process. The impact of service this year for both divine counterparts is amplified because of the signs divine masculine and divine feminine are sitting in. It's a spotlight year for both. The closing message my guide had for this group was to focus on your light work and on forgiveness. This is a time of great transition, and it's important to stay focused on love and keep the love energy you carry as pure as possible. Now I'm going to address the group of twins who may be listening who are either in union or coming into union this year. Now, I want to just say for everyone who this may not be true for, we're all headed in that direction in some form or fashion at some point in time. So if this is not you at this time, I urge you to keep this group in your thoughts and prayers and healing intentions as the front runners of a very large union period coming at the end of 2022. They have a very challenging job to do by anchoring union energy into the collective templates at this time, when we can all see the collective energies of planet Earth are extraordinarily divisive at this moment. Now, I've said it in other videos, but it bears repeating here that this is not the easiest time. It takes a lot of work on both sides of the connection for a 3D union to unfold, or if you've already been in union for some time, to hold with the astrological energy of 2021 and on the heels of 2020. Those coming into union at this time and those remaining in union energy at this time are anchoring this energy in the 3D, despite the challenges we can all see every time we turn on the television, and despite the personal challenges that the current events have evoked in their own lives. So for those of you coming into union this year or maintaining union, here are the messages my guides had for you. You will have seen, for those of you coming into union, that this energy already began to unfold in your connection as we closed 2020 in October, in November, and it really picked up in December. You would have also seen that while clear that this is the direction of things between you and your counterpart, for some, it may not be steady or consistent yet. And likewise, if there was a challenge you faced in 2020, well, it seems like things are definitely headed in the right direction now, it may be hard to steady them in the right direction. There may be a lot of challenges that show up in the process of creating groundedness. And this is going to continue. I want to warn you that this is kind of the flow of this year, and it has a lot to do with the energetics happening on the masculine side of the energy as it works to restabilize and transform after the initiation energies of 2020. Since both counterparts have both masculine energy and feminine energy, this energy of striving to get things in the right place to come together in more meaningful ways will be present for both counterparts, no matter their gender identity throughout the year. So if things are a little unsteady, it's okay. Expect that things are still moving forward in a positive direction if that's what you both discussed doing and have been working on in the material world, even if things don't look that way from time to time in 2021. You may find it helpful to re-listen or listen for the first time to the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle astrology and channeled message videos for twins, as they explain the energy of this very transformational time, and they are linked below this video. In this group, because you're in communication, you can look out for significant changes in one another as you move forward, because big changes will be there this year. This year will move both of you into alignment with your light work in new ways. You're going to start to see new distinctions come forward in the ways you're here to serve, even if you're serving together. You may find that there are things that each of you uniquely brings to the table that the other doesn't, and you'll be able to appreciate each other's service that much more. This year, the divine masculine energy sits in the sign of the humanitarian, the sign of rapid growth and transformation, an energy that's about incarnating divinity and serving the greater good of all. That's Aquarius. And the divine feminine sits in the sign of the truth teller and the freedom seeker, the sign that is about teaching and education. Both of you are going to see one another through very different eyes this year. You're going to begin to understand each other and each other's power and gifts and new ways. So you'll see the person you've been partnering with is becoming a newer, improved version of yourselves right before your eyes. And it will be very important that as they stretch, explore, and expand, that we deal with our triggers around that. So if there's old abandonment stuff, old rejection stuff, or old stories about loving each other through transformation periods, this is a great year to get outside support and mentorship around that so you can interrupt unconscious neural patterning that may cause you to lash out, unconsciously belittle, excessively question, sow doubt or fear if your counterpart seems to be growing in a direction that is more about them at this time. The work from the Gottmans and the interview about the 7 principles for making marriage work will be linked below, and you'll find that that will be exceedingly helpful for you at this time. Many in or coming into union will also find that this year they may need to deepen their ability to act in love, not just feel love. You may find that as a result, relationship coaching may actually help you break through in places where there's either been gridlock in the connection and specifically in the arena of communication. This year holds incredible breakthrough energy for communication and transforming communication patterns. So, any class you can take that will facilitate that will be useful to you and seed the connection with deeper union energy. There will, as I mentioned, be instability in the process, but as long as you're both keeping those lines of communication open, you're going to find it really manageable. The most difficult time of the year will be mid-year. So you can have support. It would be good if you can have support in place before we head into June, July, and August. You'll find those months are going to be much easier to navigate if you already have support in place. Likewise, there will be ample opportunity to expand your light work with one another this year. Lots of opportunities to collaborate and bring together your customers or audiences if you've been seeking to do that. There will be opportunities to share your gifts and talents in some combined way. You may even find that this is a part of what brings you together if you're on the brink of union, but it seems like the only thing you guys can talk about is work. Allow it. Because if that's what's coming forward as what needs to happen first, trust the process and allow it to unfold in the way the divine has mapped out. For many in this group, pregnancy or parenthood could come up this year due to the transiting positions of the divine feminine, Uranus, the divine masculine. It may also even come as a surprise and some of the eclipse cycles as well. Like, surprise, we're coming together, but I never told you I have kids and now I have sole custody of them. Or surprise, you're pregnant. Or surprise, your adult children may return home and move in with you and your divine counterpart. This kind of thing can occur. Children are really strongly indicated as coming through this year for divine counterparts. There's a separate channeled message specifically about this that came through last fall that I recently shared and that astrology confirmed when I looked. So if this is your path this year, congratulations. There's a heavy education and service energy for 2021 as well for this group. This year will call on both twins to step forward in light work in some way. It will almost push you or pull you in ways you can't avoid. So if that's happening, try to go with it. Honor your gift as needed on planet Earth in this time, because it is. The closing message my guides had for this group is that it's so necessary to let our partners grow. It's going to be easy as they start to stretch into their light work to get triggered, or specifically, my guides continue to say clinging or use show me clinging. They urged everyone in this group to get the support you need to get to relax about the unfoldment and trust that both they and you are doing it right. Thank you so very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing. If you'd like to get a reading with me, you are more than welcome to do so. Links to be able to do that are below.